French call this, I think, something like d'orange de duck, but it's probably complete rubbish. We're just going to call it orange duck. I've got a duck leg. We have got some spinach, and we've got some celeriac mash. I'm going to do the easy bit because this is a dish that I'm going to learn at the same time as you. Emma, tell us a little bit more about what we're going to do.
So we have roasted our duck leg for about half an hour.
Yep.
We are now going to do what you love, which is reverse sear it.
Yep.
We're going to be using some garlic. We're going to be using some ginger, some fennel. Fennel is such a beautiful thing to use. This is dried fennel seeds. And then we're going to have a little bit of sea salt. And we will also be wilting some spinach. So you've got some really delicious, strong flavoured ingredients. And then we've also got, we're going to be frying it off, quickly in olive oil. Always, obviously, use olive oil or avocado oil, coconut oil over your highly processed oils, your seed-based oils. Steve, you're going to be cutting up the orange, so we're just going to be slicing it down the centre or the width of it.
That way, so across.
Yes, across.
Okay.
I would take the skin off it first.
So you put in the very lazy garlic.
Yes.
You put in the very lazy ginger.
Yeah.
And like I say, we think that's the most cost-effective way of doing those two ingredients. That's all coming up to the boil now. So what's next?
So we're just going to add in probably a teaspoon of fennel seeds.
You know what? I think it is my favourite spice.
I think it's one of those things that you either really like it or people aren't sure because it's a little bit aniseedy,
very
isn't
aniseedy,
it?
Yeah.
So we're just cooking those off with the garlic and the ginger. They will brown a little bit. You don't want them to burn. So if you need to reduce your heat, do so.
I think what I'm learning from you, less is more.
Less is
sometimes my kids
more.
go, oh, they don't like the flavour on that, Dad. And that's sometimes because I put way too much fennel in.
Well, yeah, less is always more. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add the spinach to one side. We've got the duck leg on top of our fennel and our garlic and our ginger. Yeah. And we're just going to move it round. And
you're just wilting the spinach at the same time.
We are,
finishing off the flavour on the duck.
So we just...
Oh, smelling gorgeous, isn't it?
I mean, we're lucky. We've got quite a big pan here, so you can actually just put everything in.
Yeah. I always think it's worth getting a big pan because it saves on the washing up. Rather than having 2 or 3 small ones, you've got one big one. You're doing it all at the same time. The flavours are merging from, so even the wilted spinach will pick up some of that garlic, some of that ginger.
Exactly,
and
it looks great. It's all the colours as well. The green, the orange, the golden colour from the duck leg. Wow. And then obviously we're going to be adding our mash as well.
Of course. In fact, while you're doing that, I'm going to go and cook the mash. So let's start by showing you a mash with Emma's techniques using the celeriac, which remember has 1/10 of the carbohydrates of the same amount of potato. It's got vitamin B6, it's got vitamin C, it's got manganese, it's got phosphorus, it's got loads of good stuff. Now, how do you prep it? Good question. Some people use a peeler. For me, that just seems to take forever.
The skin is really tough.
Yeah.
So I would just suggest using a really sharp knife, a heavy knife, a big knife, not a small one, because you're just not going to have the strength. But if you just take off, you don't have to go crazy and chop, wedges off it, but just take the tougher.
Yeah, don't think you've got to eliminate all of it at all, because again, that would just waste way too much. And we reckon per person, per portion, doesn't matter whether you're doing celeriac wedges, or as I call them, roasties, whether you're doing chips or fries, or whether you're doing mash, it's about 1/3 per person will give you a big portion. So you might even want to just use 1/4 of a celeriac. It goes a long way. And what we also do, we both do the same thing, is whenever we're in the kitchen, we've got some spare time, we prep way in advance. So I personally will do 3 or 4 celeriacs all in one go, because you can put them in the freezer and bring it out when you need that convenience.
Exactly. And when you're with mash, you just want to cut it into small squares.
Yep.
Because, you know, then it's going to take a lot quicker. And it does, compared to potato, I'd say it probably takes a third, probably 2/3 of the time. What do you think?
To actually boil it, to get it ready to
It's,
mash.
yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah, I would say you're done 7-8 minutes, something like that. So we're just going to pop those into a pan of boiling water, and then when we can put a knife or a fork into them quite easily, we'll come back and we will show you what to do next. So you've drained the water, what next?
So as you say, we've taken the water out. The celeriac is really nice and soft, so you can pop a fork in or a knife in.
Yeah.
And then we are just going to pop it into a bowl. You don't need to, don't need to be fancy and go out and buy a potato masher.
Yeah.
We're trying to make this as simple as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop it straight into a bowl. You
Yeah.
can use a bigger bowl, whatever you've got.
So most people will have like a potato mash at home, so you
They
could use
will.
that and do it straight in the pot.
Yeah.
Cool, but you're just trying to go absolutely, because at home I use my blender that I use for everything else, because it just does it in seconds. But you're just showing again the most simple way of doing it with a fork.
With a fork, a little bit of butter, and some black pepper, and then you're just going to mash it up.
That's absolutely fantastic. Okay. And of course, you can add other things. So, if you're the sort of person when you have mash, normally you put a lot of butter in potato mash, then put a lot in here. If you add cheese or if you have cream, normally when you do your mash at home, do the same, do whatever you want. If you like fiery, then add a little bit of pepper. Do you want to show you what I did the other day? I hope I can find it in the fridge. I hope we've got, I've got it, here we go. So the other day, I'd done some beetroot for a salad that I boiled.
Yeah.
Took the beetroot out of the pan.
Yeah.
Put the celeriac roasties in before they were cooked. Cooked them in with
brilliant
the beetroot and turned it red. And then I put a duck breast over the top. And nobody could guess what it was. What's that? What was that strawberry type thing you had? It wasn't strawberry. It was celeriac mash with a little bit of a twist to it.
Oh, that's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. And anyway, that's going to be your lovely mash. So as Emma continues with that, let's show you what we're going to do next. So that's looking absolutely fantastic. And there's so many different dishes that we can put it in, but we're sure you're going to love this one. Wow, that looks great.
Yeah.
Right, so just plated up the celeriac mash, got that all out. Massive big portion that. Remember, way less, virtually no carbs, like 2 grams per 100, whereas potatoes, that would have been 20. So this is a 10th the amount of carbohydrates. That's the 10th of the amount of blood glucose effect. And it just looks gorgeous. The smell of the garlic, the ginger together. Not only have we got that, we've got the colour of the orange, we've got the vitamin C's and all the nutrition of the oranges. Don't worry too much. You hear us a lot saying don't have too many fruits when you're trying to cut the carbohydrates down. But we've only used half an orange here. So yes, there will be a little bit of sugar in there, residual sugar, but not lots. Still going to get a lot of vitamin C too. Right, last bit of the fennel seeds, the ginger, the garlic. Smells delicious. I love the way you just slightly burnt the oranges on purpose to get that sort of restaurant-y sort of look.
Yeah. So it would be nice just to have them a little bit caramelised.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you've got, don't leave anything out.
I mean, this is one of our most expensive dishes, but we're still looking, £3.16 or so for this one. Keep an eye on the updated prices just in case ducks go up. You can always click on the link above there. But right now, this is a dish full of goodness with the celeriac mash, the duck leg, the orange, the spinach. Absolutely delicious, nutritious, and very affordable.